At exactly 3:47 a.m. Eastern Time this morning, Saturday, January 17th, 2026, a document escaped a system that was never designed to be transparent. It didn't come from WikiLeaks. It didn't come from a whistleblower platform. It came from inside the system itself. A panicked compliance officer at a London bullion bank sent an encrypted file to 5 people: 3 commodity traders, 1 financial journalist, 1 regulatory contact at the Bank of England. The file was marked confidential, executive committee eyes only. The document was dated January 14th, 2026. It wasn't a memo, a warning, or an opinion. It was a spreadsheet. A single Excel file. 12 columns. 8,423 rows. Each row represented a real client account held at a major bullion bank. Each column detailed account number, account type, claimed ounces, allocated ounces, unallocated ounces, last verification date, and total market exposure. This was not theory. This was internal accounting. When you summed the column labeled claimed ounces, the number was staggering. The total was 61.8 billion ounces of silver. Not million, billion. When you summed the column labeled allocated ounces, the number collapsed. Just 14.3 million ounces. That is all the silver that actually existed in segregated, deliverable form. That creates a ratio of 4,300 paper claims for every single ounce of physical silver. And this is not the global system. This is one bank, one institution, one of 6 major London Bullion Market Association clearing members. If this ratio holds across the other 5 banks, and industry sources confirm that it does, the global silver market is not leveraged 500 to 1. It is leveraged over 4,000 to 1. The total notional value of those paper claims at current silver prices of $89.70 per ounce is $15.3 trillion. $15 trillion in promises. Those promises are backed by less than $4 billion in physical metal. This is the moment the fractional reserve silver system collapses under its own weight. This is not speculation anymore. This spreadsheet is different from every warning that came before it. It is not an estimate. It is not an extrapolation. It is internal bank data showing real balances and real vault inventories. Today is Saturday, January 17th, 2026, and the $15 trillion death bag has been opened. The 4,000 to 1 ratio is no longer theory. It is documented fact. The spreadsheet originated from HSBC Holdings, one of the 6 banks authorized to clear silver transactions through the LBMA. HSBC operates the largest precious metals vault in London. It stores approximately 340 million ounces of silver. According to the document, only 14.3 million ounces of that silver are held in allocated form. Allocated means specific bars, serial numbers, segregated ownership. That metal cannot be lent, leased, or rehypothecated. The remaining 325.7 million ounces are unallocated. Unallocated means the client owns a claim, not metal. The bank pools those claims and operates on a fractional reserve basis. The claims against that 325.7 million ounce pool total 61.8 billion ounces. Divide the claims by the metal, and the unallocated pool alone is leveraged nearly 190 to 1. When you include the allocated silver, total inventory appears to be 340 million ounces. But total claims remain 61.8 billion. That produces an overall leverage ratio of 181 to 1. Still catastrophic, but not yet the full story. The spreadsheet includes another column. A column labeled External Derivative Exposure. This column contains over-the-counter silver derivatives. Futures, swaps, forwards, and bilateral contracts not backed by physical inventory. These contracts never appear on exchange records. The total notional value of HSBC's external derivative exposure is $1.46 trillion. At $89.70 per ounce, that equals 16.28 billion ounces of synthetic silver. Add that to the account claims, and HSBC's total silver obligations rise to 78.08 billion ounces. Against 340 million ounces of reported inventory, leverage rises to 229 to 1. But here's where the illusion finally collapses. Of HSBC's 340 million ounces, 282 million are held on behalf of the iShares Silver Trust, SLV. That metal does not belong to HSBC. HSBC is only the custodian. Those ounces cannot be used to satisfy HSBC's own obligations. Remove them from the equation. That leaves just 58 million ounces available to back 78.08 billion ounces of obligations. The leverage ratio jumps to 1,345 to 1. Still not the final number. The spreadsheet includes another tab. This one is labeled Lease and Repo Activity. According to this tab, HSBC has lent out 43.7 million ounces of its remaining inventory. That silver has been sold into the market by borrowers. It is no longer in the vault. Subtract leased silver, and only 14.3 million ounces remain. That is the same number listed as allocated metal. It is the only silver physically present and deliverable. Now divide 78.08 billion ounces of obligations by 14.3 million ounces of real silver. The true leverage ratio is 5,460 to 1. HSBC is the most extreme case. The other 5 bullion banks carry slightly lower leverage. According to multiple sources, the industry average is approximately 4,000 to 1. When you apply that ratio across the entire LBMA system, total paper exposure reaches $15.3 trillion. Total deliverable physical silver is approximately $3.8 billion. That produces a clearing ratio of 4,032 to 1, rounded, simplified, and undeniable. The silver market is leveraged 4,000 to 1. A system like this survives only if fewer than 0.025% of claim holders demand delivery. 1 out of 4,000. That threshold has already been breached. Historically, almost no one demanded physical. Investors traded paper. Industrial users sourced long-term contracts. The illusion held. That changed in December 2025. Tesla demanded 85 million ounces. Samsung attempted to secure 50 million. Apple, Google, Nvidia, and BYD followed. The percentage of claim holders demanding delivery surged from 0.01% to 0.15%. That is a 15-fold increase. The system cannot survive that demand. A 0.15% delivery demand against a 4,000 to 1 system creates a shortfall of 599 to 1. For every claim filled, 599 fail. The system is mathematically broken. The only way to resolve this is price. The price must rise high enough to force voluntary forfeiture. Claims must surrender so metal can clear. Industrial users represent approximately 42% of silver demand. They cannot accept cash. They need physical metal regardless of price. That leaves 58% of claims that can potentially forfeit. 58% of 4,000 equals 2,320 claims that must voluntarily disappear per ounce. Historically, commodity squeezes force forfeiture 8 to 12 times the pre-crisis price. Silver traded at $28.92 on January 1, 2025. That implies $231 to $347, but silver is already at $89.70. 8 times that is $717. 12 times is $1,076. That is the clearing range. In a panic, prices overshoot, typically by 50 to 100%. That implies spikes between $1,000 and $1,600 before correction. Physical holders do not sell immediately. They wait for confirmation. That delay pushes prices higher. Once selling begins, stabilization occurs around 60 to 70% of the panic peak. That implies a post-panic equilibrium between $780 and $1,120. But there is one final factor: panic forfeiture. When holders realize their paper is worthless, 50 to 60% exit at any price. That reduces effective claims from 4,000 to roughly 1,600. Recalculate equilibrium with that number, and the clearing price collapses. The result is approximately $485 per ounce. Not a guess. A mathematical outcome. And the leak accelerates everything. What was suspected is now proven. Behavior changes instantly. By Monday, January 19th, financial media publishes the story. Silver gaps higher. Margins rise. Redemptions surge. By the end of the first week, the paper market fractures. By week 3, force majeure is declared. By week 6, the price stabilizes at $485. The death bag clears. This is not financial advice. This is mathematics. And the countdown has already started.